Hello. I set a goal to read 100 books this year, which is quite a daunting task, but I think I can do it if I read 2 books a week. I would like to share with you 7 books that I read last year, just in case you are so inspired to make your own goal for reading. The first book that I'm very happy that I read is Surviving Schizophrenia. It goes through the history of the disease, the presentation of the disease, treatments for the disease, activism, and a whole host of other information. And you quickly begin to understand why the author, Dr. Torre, says this is the disease that is the most awful, that of course you never want to get. Another book that I'm very happy that I read is Letters to a Writer of Color. And the title tells you all. I'm going to go through the chapter titles because if you're a writer, I really want you to get this book. On origin stories, on structure, on authenticity, on humor, on character, our very own Tiffany Unique writes about character, the Black Caribbean character, how it presents for us, and how conflicts are created in academia and in the space of literature when we write ourselves, and how to think about that as writers. On trauma, on translation, on queerness, on telling and showing, on the inactive protagonist, on crime fiction, on violence, on art and activism, on the second person, on political fiction and fictional politics, on reception and resilience, on the ideal conditions for writing. Get this book if you're a writer. I like some self-help every once in a while. This one is Set Boundaries, Find Peace, a guide to reclaiming yourself. It's a really nice book where you have some checklists in here, and it basically comes down to what you have to do to put loving yourself in action. And that means saying no. So it's around the language of saying no and different scenarios and how you basically show up for yourself by choosing yourself authentically every day. This is a psychology of money. I love money. I think I love spending it more than anything, but this is a way of thinking about money. So that's what got me interested in the book. What is it about money that sets our brains going, right? So the writer was a trader, and then by the end of the book, you understand that he also figures that money isn't everything. Purpose is what's really important. We need money, but purpose in life is what's truly important. This one is Welcome Home by Najwa Zebayan. This is also another book that talks about loving yourself, finding yourself, welcoming yourself home. Not just coming home to yourself, but welcoming yourself with open arms. She uses poetry and personal narratives in order to bring her thesis to you. This is Viola Davis, Finding Me. This is an excellent book about the actress's life. Once you read this book, you realize that if Viola Davis can do it, and she made no excuses, she tried to, but you understand that anything is doable with faith and with love, togetherness, family, and holding on to joy. Finding Me, Viola Davis. Beautiful, beautiful book. I love a good fictional novel that is very creative and imaginative. This one uses magical realism by Zoraida Cordova. After I read the book, I emailed her and she emailed me back. So it's pretty cool. This is The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina, and it's about a curadera. She is dying and she knows she's gonna die, so she brings her family together. She sends them all a letter. There's a love-hate relationship, difficult relationship she had with her children and her grandchildren. So it goes through family dynamics. Things are not always simple or easy or kind, but they learn about who she was and why she presented the way she did in her life to them. And so really it's a love story, but it's a difficult love story, but also one of understanding and compassion and gratitude and grace. The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. Beautiful novel. I suggest reading this and just loving it as I loved it. So those are some titles, and I hope you saw something in there that you would love to read this year. In my next video, I'm going to talk about 7 books that I must read this year. Bye.